This is a one-person business that can easily make like 80 grand a month, like 1,000%. There's these companies that are coming to market now where the AI avatars can hold physical products in the videos.
And that's a big deal. That wasn't possible until recently.
Traditionally, it was like I would hire a creator. I used to pay them $100 per video. If you wanted to generate 10 different ad variations, that's $1,000.
So unscalable too.
It's unbelievable, man. In contrast now, I can go and I can generate 1,000 different pieces of creative with 10 different people. You're just a curator. You're just like picking the winners. Over 60% of B2B businesses run a webinar every month. Perfect. You now have all the leads you could ever want. It's $4,000. And it's like literally all you're doing is transcript, Claude, Canva.
I have to hear about this Shopify idea.
So we've been experimenting with AI avatars for a long time.
What do you mean by that?
So AI avatars are like HeyGen, they're like ARC ads. Basically, like it's like a human that like, you know, UGC content traditionally was like I would go
user-generated content.
User-generated content. I would go and I would hire a creator. I mean, I used to pay them $100 per video. Like it's crazy. We'd send them the physical product and we'd be like, all right, here's the script, right? They read the script one time, no variations, that's it. Then we would take that and we would run ads on it. So like if you wanted to generate, 10 different ad variations, that's $1,000.
It's so unscalable too.
It's unbelievable, man. It was unbelievable. And so like there's all of these companies that came into existence where it's like they had creators on staff that were like different, and basically like it was just like a UGC like
farm.
Yeah, farm is really what it turns into.
Yeah.
Where this idea comes from, the origin of it is just recently there's these companies that are coming to market now where AI avatars can hold products. They can hold physical products in the videos.
And that's a big deal because we've had AI advertised for a couple of years now, avatars. That wasn't possible until recently.
Exactly. So like one of these companies is makeugc.ai. This is an example of them. What they do is you basically you pick a creator like from their catalog of creators, their AI avatars, and then you upload photos of the product. And then they go and they basically like make this composite of their creator and the product. And so this person can literally like talk about the product that they're holding in their hand. So let's break down what's happening here. So I used to have to go and I would have to find creators. I would have to send them the product. I would have to harass them to actually shoot the video, right? Like with the product because they're just weren't running a real business.
It lands in the mailbox, but they haven't got it yet.
Exactly. And then I would only get one variation of the script. So I can't do hook tests. I can't do all of this other stuff. So that whole thing just took
half the time you're like, great, this sucks. This sucked at it. Perfect.
This sucks. I just did, I spent 3 weeks or 2 weeks getting this done. I did that with 10 different people. Like think about the time that's invested in that. And I dropped $1,000 and one of them out of the 10 hit, right? Because that's always how it is. All right. So in contrast now, I can go and I can generate 1,000 different pieces of creative with 10 different, people. So 100 different hooks. I'm testing 100 different scripts and they're holding the product. I don't have to mail any product. And that's what you can do now with these tools. That's like where this idea, the origin of this comes from. So the angle I think you could go after though is, and let me show you the data on this because I think it's really like insightful to see the search volume increases for AI. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So this is the search volume for this. So
oh, wow.
You can see this here. Since this time last year, it's gone from 1,600 in search volume a month to 4,300 in search volume a month.
Over a year.
So 4x. It's 4x, Chris.
Yeah.
So I'm over here and I'm like, all right, this is a huge problem. Who has the biggest problem? Like brands that they need the creator to hold the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go and I'm going to make an agency and all we specialize in, it's going to be in those like these consumable products, right? And so how do I
supplements,
go?
Gummies,
supplements, exactly,
shoes.
all of them.
Okay.
And so then I would be like, okay, cool. Like what % of e-commerce is supplements? Just to like understand, the size of this market. All right, cool. So e-commerce representative is supplements. It's 8.4 million. Yeah, 15% of e-commerce sales is supplements. So that means that 1 out of 10 e-commerce companies are supplement brands. So if I cold email 10 people, one of them will be a supplements company, right?
Yeah.
That's the kind of the
and
math
it's a great category because the margins are high and it's recurring. You get to have your cake and eat it too.
Exactly. So the business opportunity here is you basically go and you say, hey, like we'll make ads for you, Facebook ads. And the meta around this is that Facebook has gotten so good at targeting the people that are most likely to make the purchase that what the best brands are doing right now is they just do broad targeting on Facebook
Yep.
and
They
set up a
trust
conversion
Facebook.
event. Exactly. And set up a conversion event for the like payment action. And then all they're focusing on is the ad creative. Like they go and they test, like, how do I test 100 pieces of ad creative a month? And so what you would do as a service provider for this business, for this AI avatar UGC for beauty e-commerce, or sorry, for supplement e-commerce brands, you would go to them and be like, hey, I'm going to make you, again, we'll just say 25 pieces of creative a week. We're going to do all the research on hooks. We're going to generate all of the videos. We're going to do all the edits. We're going to deliver that media to you. And then you just give us a dashboard of like, showing us what's working and what's not. And then we'll just like learn from what we do. So every week you get a delivery of 25 videos. And then we go and we make the next 25 based off of the high performers. Yeah. You don't even run the ads channel. You don't do anything else. You just offer that deliverable. Super simple. All this can be done. I mean, this is a one-person business that can easily make like 80 grand a month, like 1,000%. I guarantee that they could do this.
And they don't need to fire their ads agency. You're not really competing with them. You're helping them.
Not competing with them whatsoever. You're providing value to them. All you're doing is just giving them, more creative for them to test. And the creative, maybe it's not as good as if they go hire a human, but I don't care about that. If I test 100 pieces of creative, 3 are going to rip. I guarantee you 3 are going to outperform the rest of them. And then those 3, I'd then go to a creator. I'm like, okay, creator, I already know this is a winning format. Remake this, human. Like make this better, like with your skill sets that So they have a, whatever creator that they work with regularly, or maybe they're on staff already. They go and they recreate those best performers. All you're doing is just making more surface area for this learning to happen for this category. So,
oh my gosh.
And then reach out strategy. Super simple. Again, right? It's like, go find e-commerce companies that are selling supplements. Figure out who the founders are. What's great is like a lot of these companies, like maybe they do 10 million a year, but it's like 5 people. So you just email all 5 of them. You're like, cool. I made you some ads. Here's 5 examples of the ads that I can make for you, right? I already did research on like, what are the pain points that your product solves? Here's literal actual ads that are in a Google Drive folder. You just open this Google Drive folder. You're going to see 5 ads of the 100 that I can make, the hundreds a month that I can make.
Yeah. What's great about these guys is their biggest budget outside of the actual product that they're making is ads, like their marketing. These supplement e-commerce brands are spending like double-digit percentage of their revenue on ads. And so one framework is like, I want to sell to people that that aren't already running ads. No, you want to find people that are addicted to ads because they're addicted to ads. And like, it's a bigger market. Like you're not going to convince people to start running ads. You want to find people that already know that ads work and offer them something better.
100%.
Real quick, please subscribe to my channel. I know it's kind of lame to ask, but it means a lot. Thanks.
Again, they're doing this already. You're just doing it at a scale and a volume that they want. Is cheaper and it's faster. And like, again, this is like, you probably charge $5,000 a month for this easily, if not more. Like I know there's agencies that charge like $8,000 a month for like 10 videos, dude. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm getting 10 at bats. Like, think about that. Like I'm only getting 10 at bats. What happens if I get 100 at bats? But I'm still hitting, only 200.
Well, let's say one of the 10 is just a banger. It's going to be stale in 2 months.
100%. Like, so, and that's why this is this recurring thing. When I say one person can go and build this company, what I'm really talking to is like a single person can go and like, say you wanted to make $1 million a year off this, right? That's 80 grand, a month. So if you're doing $5,000 a month, you just need 16 clients, right? So you're just managing 16 clients every week. You deliver 25 ads. You can make 25 ads in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Right. So let's just break that down. So 16 times 2. So you're working 32 hours per week. You're making $1 million a year. And then all this turns into is like, you just make sure the deliverables show up. You make sure you like provide what you're promised, right, et cetera. And like, this is again, like a very simple, easy business that somebody can go start. And you're using the AI automation, like you're using this, like the N8N stuff that, the make.com stuff that you've learned, like to build out these pieces of creative, like doing the research, writing the scripts, like all that's just like where the AI can fit into this. The production process is where AI is like most valuable. The job of the human is like, you're just a curator. You're just like picking the winners. Maybe you go and you generate 50 and you're like, all right, cool. Out of these 50, what are the best bangers? It's like, cool. Here's the 25 I'm actually going to give to the client. And then maybe there's like 5 extra that you're like, oh, they're pretty good. So you throw that in as a kickback. It's like, hey, John, like here's 5 extra this week too. I threw some in there for you just because I thought they were all right.
Because it cost me nothing.
And they're like, oh my God, like I just got this incredibly high value for this, right? And again, all they're looking is for that consistency and for something that it's the research piece, right? Understanding like the pain points of the customer and like the product. That's the hardest part of this. But say you're building like I don't know, like what's a supplement that's good, probably like gonna go viral soon.
Like creatine gummies.
Yeah, like creatine gummies as an example. Like, okay, cool. What are all but I would niche down. I would be like, maybe it's creatine gummies for like long distance runners that are women, right? Cool. Like very specific category, but it's big enough that you can go after it. So it's like, cool. What are the pain points that creatine gummies solve for long distance runners that are women? And it's like, boom, here's this list of things. All right, now go scrape Reddit for quotes of people talking about taking creatine gummies for long distance runners for women. Sweet, I got these quotes. All right, now cool. Build hooks and content based off these quotes. Bam, boom. I've got my scripts. I've now got this like whole agency built on the top of this. So,
yeah. Okay. You're kind of like an expert at finding ideas on Reddit. I would love to hear what your process is it's kind of like, having a magic lamp and getting 3 wishes. And with Reddit, you can wish for unlimited more wishes. You can find all the business ideas you'd ever want. So you want to tell us what your secret sauce is there?
Yeah. It's not complicated. Like I literally just use Perplexity, right? Like I go to Perplexity and I prompt something like, what are the main pain points, med spas have in growing the business? Reddit.
Okay. Just the word Reddit.
Like literally just that. You could do deep research on this too. So like using like, their deep research modes. But what this is going to do is it's basically going to go and scrape Reddit for like, what are the things that are their problems, right? Cool. Client acquisition and retention. Okay. Can I do something around that? Maybe. High operating and startup costs. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to get into the financing space. Staffing and employee turnover. Oh, that's interesting. They're having staffing issues. Could I build a staffing pipeline for them? Over-reliance on discount platforms. Okay, that sounds like a huge problem, like Groupon. So it sounds, I take a look at this and I'm like, lead gen is hard for med spas.
Yeah.
It's immediately what I come to. I'm like, can I figure out how to do lead gen for med spas? And then I go down that rabbit hole and I start to identify. So like, what's the customer lifetime value of a med spa lead? And I start to understand like, what's the value of this person, right? And so they come we'll say 4 to 8 times per year.
So insane, which means you can charge a lot.
You can charge a lot, right? And so it's like, cool. The number ends up being about $5,000, right? It's like what I just know it off the top of my head. So you got $5,000 to play with of the customer lifetime value of that person. So if you get a lead for them at a paying customer for them at like $1,000 a piece, like that probably works, right? Like that's a ROAS, a ROAS of about 5x, which is pretty healthy. Yeah. So then I would be like, how do people buy, pick med spas that they go to? Like social, what else? So then I'd be like, cool, like we're going to identify the social. It's probably going to be Instagram, right? Like, it is already going to be Instagram and Facebook. Like social proof and reviews. Okay. So immediately I think that's Google Maps and that's like, social word of mouth and referrals. And you're like, oh, cool. So I could layer on a service where I encourage word of mouth. So like, can we make an incentive for when somebody goes to this place? And if they post on social, we give them a discount or we like incentivize referrals. Strong social presence. So maybe social media management is like a business we could build that's only focusing on med spas. Reputation and staff credentials. I don't want to touch anything in staff. So, I stay away from that. Facilities, standards, and ambiance. Okay, so cleaning. I can start a cleaning business for this company, right? So this is basically like how you can uncover, based off of the real conversations that people are having in these public forums, what are their pain points? Once I've identified their pain points, it's easy, man. Building a business is easy once you know a thing that people hate doing, and you come in and be like, you pay me, I do the thing you hate. That's all a business is.
Yeah.
Like a business is 2 things at its core. It is you have something people want to buy and you can sell it, right?
Yeah. And so you sell it by speaking to their problems.
Yes.
Their most painful problems first. Could you scroll back up to the top?
Yep.
One line that I read that I can't get out of my head is over reliance on discount platforms. Yep. Like I prefer when I'm running deep research and I want to go really deep, I prefer ChatGPT for that. So I would like niche down even more, and I would take that and go to ChatGPT and find like, I want you to tell me, find every complaint you can find. And like you did, I'll give it references. Go to Reddit, go to Instagram, go to Facebook groups, Facebook, everything. And then say, find me all the instances of people complaining about over-reliance on discount platforms as a med spa owner, right?
Yep.
And then you can build your whole offer around that. Then like when you do cold outreach to these guys, it's not like, hey, would you like more leads? It's like, hey, are you sick of relying on Groupon too much and getting the worst customers in your community? And they're like, huh, how did you know that? You know?
Yep. And so, every one of them is going to have that problem, right?
Yeah.
Or at least half of them, right? So half of the people you reach out to.
Dude, or Cody, what we could do is we could build an N8N template to go to Groupon and Living Social and scrape every med spa that's ever run a deal. And then you cross-reference with another automation, find the owner's cell phone number and say, hey, how much do you hate Groupon? Guess what? Me too. Your customers are worth $5,000. Would you pay me $300 if I found you a new one? You know?
It's perfect. Like, look at this.
Where Groupon's not involved.
Rarely rebook, and even after positive experience. That's like what it pulls from Instagram and Reddit.
Yep.
It's like, okay, like are highly opinionated and quick to leave negative reviews on the platform. So it's a terrible, terrible customer types. You could talk to that. Like Groupon gets you terrible customers. I get you good customers. Like there's literally your subject line. You probably get a 20% response rate. And suddenly like you have, a business. I don't know what this is. It's probably just like running Facebook ads. We could actually figure out what that is though.
It could be a high level. It could just be wrapping a high level automation.
Yep.
Or
totally.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally. But you could do something like, what are the demographics? What are the demographics of people who buy med spa services? And it's going to tell you, it's going to be probably like 25 to 45-year-old women. Yeah, 30 to 50. 45% of them, they're high income individuals. So okay, when I see this, immediately what I think is I'm going to target women that are 30 to 50 in the highest, the top 5% of income with Facebook ads. And I'm going to run Facebook ads to those people talking about each of the individual services. And then the other component of this is like, okay, I know it's like geography specific. Where do the richest people live in my town? And how do I go and optimize the med spa Google Maps listings so that they show up better, like in those areas, right? And how you do that is basically you build like a good profile with like the keywords are in the name and the description and the service offerings, have photos of the interior so it looks gorgeous, and then do directory listings, right? So what a directory listing is basically like you get the name, the address, and the phone number. You take that and you go and you submit that to MapQuest, to Foursquare, to Yelp, to all of these websites that are direct, like, business directory listing websites. When all of that matches, you're then going to show up higher within Google Maps when somebody searches med spa near me when they're in their geography. So let's just like look at that right now, right? Like we can say like med spa San Francisco.
I have watched too many entrepreneurs spend months perfecting their business plan, only to discover their perfect domain name got snatched up while they were researching options. Every single day, thousands of perfect domain names disappear forever, gone to businesses that moved fast while others sat around just thinking about it. Here's what's happening right now. .online domains are the last frontier for getting exactly what you want. The word online gets searched over 500 million times per month. That's built-in SEO power most people don't even realize they're missing. But this window is closing fast. 3.5 million businesses already figured this out. They went and grabbed their perfect .online domain name while it was still available, while everyone else was out there stuck trying to find something decent that ended with .com. Right now, Koerner Office fans can use code Koerner to get their .online domain name at just 99 cents for the first year at get.online. The clock is ticking. Domains are disappearing. What are you waiting for? Check out .online today.
Now, if I search that on Google, this is the Google Maps pack, right? This is a sponsored listing. And then there's 3 here that show up organically.
Yep.
These 3 get the majority of all clicks. Everything basically goes there.
Yep.
So your job is to rank this higher. What I just told you, it's called local SEO. So yeah, questions around that I can try to answer?
No, if I show you what I have pulled up on my screen here, I have I just went to one of my favorite websites, trends.google.com, typed in med spa. I think we've got a tidal wave on our hand. I mean,
Yep.
med spas are blowing up. Like, it's just all else equal. If you launch any type of lead gen business, you want to do it in a growing industry. I love, just zooming out a little bit, I love the concept of deep research, 6 bullet points, take one, deep research, brand new prompt, and just keep diving down and down and down. So like I would go to ChatGPT after I already learned from Perplexity and say, find me 5 businesses that are crushing it with med spa lead gen. Okay. Which one is crushing it the most? How are they growing? Okay. This guy, John's medspa leadgen.com. Cool. Then you go new prompt, new deep research prompt in a different window and say, I want you to tell me every freaking thing you can about this guy's growth strategy, marketing strategy, pricing. How has his pricing changed over time? What did his landing page look like on day 1 versus today? And like, you just keep drilling down these deep research prompts until you have a perfect playbook of exactly what to copy. How does he fulfill? Is he white labeling something like high level? Is he doing it himself? Is he using local SEO? And just don't reinvent the wheel, just copy it.
100%. And those are the best businesses to start, right? But for some reason, like people, it's really interesting to me, Chris, because like when we think about local businesses, like people are really comfortable with like, I'm going to start a window washing company, or like, I'm going to start a power washing company. And it's like, they don't think about internet businesses in the same way though, for some reason. And it drives me crazy. Like you can like, just like, for example, most cities in the US that are like tier 1 cities have like 80 plus window washing companies that exist, and they all make money at different levels, right?
Yeah.
But for some reason, we don't think about internet businesses in the same way, where it's like there can be, 1,000 Redfin scrapers, and they all can make money in some capacity. Yeah. Some will just be better than others, right? And so I just challenge your audience to think about all of these online businesses in that way, where it's like it can just be like a small little thing that does a couple grand a month, but it's entirely automated. You have no staff for it. And just like the Stripe revenue comes in and hits your bank account week over week. So,
oh man.
All right. So webinars, over 60% of B2B businesses run a webinar every month as a marketing strategy. So that's like 1 out of 2 companies in the US run a webinar.
Wow. I had no idea.
It's crazy. It's like, it's basically every company. And then if you go like scale it up to a year, it's like every company basically runs a webinar once a year. So they have this, strategy. Everybody's doing it. So it's very broad. You can basically cold email, every marketer, like anybody that has marketing as their job title at these companies, and be like, pitch them this offer. So the offer is basically turning webinars into ebooks. So lead magnets that people download, that grows the email list, so that they can promote the webinar to that email list in the future. So it's basically just like flywheel. Yeah. So you host webinars, you turn that webinar into written content, PDFs. You post on LinkedIn about the insights from the webinars. Here's the 10 things that are the insights from that webinar. It's like, if you want this free PDF comment guide, right? This is, you see this everywhere on LinkedIn right now. This is the reason people are doing it. So the comment guide, you go and you send them the webinar. You send them the lead magnet, or the form for the lead magnet. They have to give you their email to get the lead magnet. You get that email.
Use like Phantom Buster for this?
You can do Phantom Buster for this, which is a automation tool. A lot of the times people just have VAs do it because it ends up being better and kind of like more of a nurturing thing. Or what they do is they have a sales rep sitting on LinkedIn for anybody that commented. And that sales rep
this is high ticket stuff.
It's high ticket.
It's worth your time.
It's high ticket stuff. It's worth their time. This person is just like raised their hand, like this is interesting to me.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's their buyer signal that they're like passing on to you. Right. So they do that. Then what this turns into, why this is so valuable, is that email that they get. You put them into a drip nurture for your company, whatever it is that you're trying to sell. But you also grow the list for your future webinars. So the next time the company hosts a webinar, they send out, hey, this webinar is like, ready. And it's like, we're hosting it. And you basically are like, the person that's providing the service, you are so close to revenue. And it's also something that they wish that they could do, but just they don't have the time for, right? Like they're already slammed with all of this. If you go to them and it's no lift for you, right? Like you literally go to YouTube and you look up like webinar, like on YouTube. Like we do it right now. Hold on. Let me bring it up. I'll screen share and we'll do it right now. So we go to YouTube, right? And we're like webinar. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to filter by people that have posted webinars this week. And I'm going to do, over 20 minutes. So these long, like, great, perfect, You now have all the leads you could ever want.
And I would say, don't be turned off by videos that have 604 views, 200.
100%.
That's not the point.
Size space research agent for smarter research. Are you kidding me? This is like exactly what you want. Cool. I just went, I found their email address, right? I cold emailed them. Hey, I turn webinars into the ebooks for lead magnets for LinkedIn. Is that interesting? I reach out. I take the company name. I go find them on Apollo. I find all of their emails on Apollo of the marketers that work at that company. I cold email them with that instantly strategy that we talked about previously. I go to LinkedIn. I DM all of them. I'd be like, hey, I saw you posted this webinar last week. I turned it into an ebook lead magnet for you. Here it is for free. If you want me to do this for every webinar that you guys do, I offer this as a service. Is that interesting? You're going to get responses. You're going to get people that come back. This is such an easy business. And the strategy here is you're just taking the transcript of the episode. You're going to Claude. Like, we'll just do it right now. Right? Yeah. I'm going to take this. Cool. This guy talked about, something, got 1,000 views. That's like a pretty good one. Right? I'm going to take this transcript. I just go over to Claude and I say, make an ebook. write an ebook based off this transcript with like the key insights and key takeaways from it.
Well, and here's the thing, like most of these companies know how to do what you're selling to them. So don't be turned off by that. Like, I'm not doing anything. It doesn't matter. They also know how to take out their trash, but they still hire a trash lady. They know how to scrub their floors, but there's still a company there in their office in the middle of the night scrubbing floors. Like, they need a job to be done, and they might not have even thought about doing this. They probably haven't even thought about doing this before. So the chance of you pitching them with this idea and them saying, oh, I'm not going to pay you, but I'm going to do this myself, is almost zero. And if they do it, who cares, right? You're emailing a lot of people. I love that about it. The second thing I love about it is, how many people do you think are going to YouTube to that random science channel that has almost no subscribers, looking for their email and pitching them? Almost none, right? Because that YouTube channel is on no one's radar but ours for this idea. No one cares about webinars but us, right?
No,
you tell me that half of the companies in the world,
they're so unsexy. It is such a perfect business. This is the thing that I don't think people get, is like the more unsexy the thing is, and like the more like not cool it is, that is where you just... That is the cooler it is. We talk about sweaty startups. We talk about all this. Like, this is where you make money on online businesses, is doing stuff like this that is like super high value. Also, their budgets are insane. You could go and be like, hey, it's $1,000 a webinar, right?
Yeah.
Like, we make an ebook for each, and it's $1,000 per web. So they host 4 webinars a month. It's $4,000, and you just make an ebook for them. And it's like literally all you're doing is transcript, Claude, Canva.
So do you think that's the pricing model? You charge per webinar?
Absolutely. I would have it be like probably there's 2 angles, where it's like an unlimited, where it's like, $8,000 a month, and we'll do as many webinars, because then we'll work your back catalog too. Or you have it where it's like a cost per webinar, right? And it's like you have it be on brand, and you have it be, and all you're doing is just giving them this lead, magnet, right? And so many brands want this. They don't know how to do social. They don't know how to get leads from social. And that combo of like webinar, insights, lead magnet, email lists, drip nurture, more people on lists for when I promote next webinar, creates this flywheel, right?
These companies do webinars because they're insanely effective.
Oh, they work. They 100% work. That's the only reason they're doing them, right? Why are they doing a webinar a week? It's such production. I ran this at a company called Rupa Health. Like we ended up like we had a live course series. We do it every Wednesday, and we took it from like non-existent. When I left, there was 4,000 people per webinar that were joining, right? So, I mean, just crazy, right? The whole strategy was basically this. Like, we use social and other tactics to basically like build an email newsletter. And then every week at the same time on Wednesdays, we would host a webinar.
I think the automation is a key part of this. Like using Phantom Buster, it's like $50 a month. You use that to collect the emails. And as far as they know, you've got someone manually standing by. They don't know how to use Phantom Buster. Like, they might know how to like run it through ChatGPT. They've never heard of Phantom Buster, right? So I think that's like a key kind of intellectual, quote unquote, intellectual property aspect of this. But another thing that you could do, if you want like some network effects or some viral growth built into it, is say, all right, say it's $2,000 a month. I will also charge you $1,000 a month. I'll cut my price in half. All you have to do is let me use your emails to sell my webinar services to the people that sign up for the webinars. Because who's joining these webinars? People that work for other companies that are also hosting webinars. So you could build in more customer acquisition through your customers. Does that make sense?
100%. 100%. I mean, it's like also once you do it for one of these companies, you're like, hey, name, we make lead magnets. Like imagine this like LinkedIn reach out strategy. Like, hey, name, we make lead magnets for X company, right? Like it got this many downloads last month. Like, can we do this for you? Right. And it's like they look at the company's website, or sorry, their company's LinkedIn. And they're like, oh yeah, they're posting about webinars. And here's this lead magnet. And I just downloaded it. So like I just validated, I just have all this social proof, right? And so you can like, you probably can build it within an industry as well. Like go deep on like, you only do biotech or you only do, cybersecurity or like what, just pick a category. Cause then when you reach out and there's these names that like you reference, all of these people will like know that name within that category. Right. So I think that's something that like a lot of like people go and they start an SEO agency. It's like, no, we do SEO for e-commerce companies that are beauty brands.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. There's enough of them that you can do that. Right. And you can do the same thing for the webinar thing.
Oh, okay. Quick question. What if there were a private community out there of people that were building businesses based on this podcast? Well, I just made it. And it's only for business starters and business builders. It's called TK Owners. And it's basically like having me and 100 other business geniuses as your business partner. Also, there's going to be exclusive new trends, growth hacks, business ideas, and a database of everything I've ever talked about. You'll find thousands of startup case studies. You'll have weekly Ask Me Anythings with me while I'll answer your questions directly. You can join now at tkowners.com, link in the show notes. You talked about an airline deals aggregator business idea. You still like that idea?
I do like this idea. I want the time to do this. I've written like half of the script for it, which is hilarious, but I'll give you the very like simple version and then the more complex version. So the simple version of this, do you remember Scott's Cheap Flights?
Oh yeah. I was a subscriber. It was like $70 a year.
Yeah, totally. It's now Going or some terrible name that's amorphous and
I didn't know they
nothing.
changed it.
Yeah, it's like going.com or something, but
going.com.
Yeah. So their whole thing though was they would find flights that were just like cheap. And I don't think that's what people actually want. I think what people actually want is they want flights that are cheap from where they live. And so the opportunity here is basically like niching down even further where it's like, okay, like say you live in Dallas. So you go and you can go to Google Maps.
I already love it.
And you set up a listener on Google Flights, not Google Maps. I'll show you how to do this right now. We'll do this live right now. So you can go to Google Flights and you'd say like San Francisco, right? Let's just do Dallas because we were talking about it. Dallas flights. So I'm going to do Dallas. We'll just say like every major city, you're going to go and set this up. But we'll just say London to begin with, right? Dallas to London. So basically what you're trying to do is just like any time in the future that a flight from Dallas to London gets cheap, I want you to just email me. And I don't know if it's going to let me do this or let me show this.
Dude, this idea is so good. I can't even sit still.
Yeah.
Because you just copy and paste this business in any market. Like you launch it in Dallas, you crush it, you get your playbook. Man.
Just Facebook ads to a form where it's like, it could be Facebook ads to a beehive, right? And like you just email them when new deals drop. And they can only see the past deals, right? Because these you hide all the most recent ones.
Yeah,
these deals only
or
last
you hide
for like
the best deals.
Yeah,
right?
Totally.
Like I'm just picturing in my head, like you show all the ones that are like 20% off or less, but if it's like 21 or
Here
more
we go.
percent
Any
off,
dates?
it's grayed
it's
out.
Down at the bottom. Sorry, I missed it. So I can do any dates. Track prices. Yes. So this is now turned on technically, actually. So you hit this any dates button. And now my email, which I'm not going to show you, is associated with that.
Yep.
So basically what you do is you go set up a Google account and have it be like Dallas@example.com. And then you turn on for every geography, Dallas to London, Dallas to Barcelona, Dallas to Amsterdam, Dallas to Tokyo, whatever, right? You turn this flight tracking on for any dates. It's going to email you when any future times it drops. Okay. You then, in that email, you set up a listener. It basically just like takes the information, copies it over into the email newsletter. And then the monetization strategies, you have them pay the subscription, whatever, it's $10 a month or $80 a year or whatever. And then every time that a new like flight drops that is cheap, an email goes out to that audience, and you can probably get kickbacks from those companies as well, like by driving that revenue for them. And then the other side of it is you can probably sell ads across this whole network. So imagine you do this for all the major cities in the US. You then go aggregate that and you're like, cool, I've got a list of 1 million people across the US that we know like to travel. And like, some hotel chain wants to do promotion. You go and sell an ad slot across every one of these newsletters for, that whole year, etc. And that's such an easy business. I wish I had more time. I want to do this super bad. And it's you could set it up in like a weekend.
Oh, it's such a good business. And look, let me share my screen. I went to Namecheap, DallasCheapFlights.com, $11.
There it is.
Who wants it? Who's going to be the first to grab it? Like, it's just, we don't need to overthink it.
No,
like
100%.
You don't need to think of some fancy name. Go get an LLC business plan. Just buy a domain name.
It also would be so easy to rank that website, like Dallas Cheap Flights.
Yes.
It would be so easy to rank that website for that keyword phrase.
Dude,
and if you want
to, you're right. And if you want to further ensure your success, give them a no-brainer offer. Make it a yearly membership. Because like, I love just copying pricing models. Like Scott's Cheap Flights was $72 a year for like a decade, right? And I'm sure they tested that. I'm sure it's better than monthly, because if you're monthly, people churn when they don't see a flight they like, right? So let's say you're $72 for a year. You could even work in a guarantee. This is not if you don't like see a deal good enough, but if you don't go on a flight from us, then we'll give you a full refund in a year. And how many people are going to remember to ask for a refund in a year?
100%.
None. No. But how many people are going to use that offer to increase the likelihood of them buying? A lot.
100%. It's also like, this is an aspirational action, right? Like people aspire to go travel.
They're buying the dream. You're selling them the dream.
You're selling them the dream for whatever, $72 a year, right? We can actually look this up. I'm curious what Scott, what Going.
Such a good idea.
Going.com revenue per year.
Yeah. And then you just make a directory and you just list all these sites on your directory.
Exactly. So Going.com makes $35 million a year. Like that's the scale that this can get to, right? 2020, company known as Scott's Cheap Flights reported 3.8 million. And then Going, they basically repositioned it into Going. It looks like it does about 35 a year now. So this is the like scale this can get to if you like do this well. So
we're just unbundling it.
Yep. 100%. And you're making it specific. And like, it's just you just run a funnel. Like I would just start with all the major cities and then just like run a funnel for all of them. Again, all this can be automated. It's just like, it's an email that's getting emailed to an inbox. And then like, you just take that email and basically like rewrite it into your email format using AI, link out to the specific, like the flight. And it's like, that is the whole thing. And it's just a subscription revenue to begin with. And then you go sell ad slots once you get big enough.
You could literally automate the entire thing end to end. You don't need to hit send on an email
that does 20 million a year, like 1,000%. I mean, it would take some time. You need a little bit of capital, but this could 100% do that. So
yeah.
Also, I know this tactic for next door marketing that might be interesting to your audience.
Let's talk about all of the things. I'm not gonna, if you're cooking, I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna turn your burner off if Cody's cooking here.
Happy to go there. I know we were saying digital, but there's I know this kid who's like 18 that's just running up a lawn care business right now. And it's like entirely only next door marketing. He has no
Is
social.
It paid or organic?
No, it's organic. He just goes and
How does he scale that?
He does lawn care in a neighborhood and he does before and after pictures. That's all he does. And he's like, I just did X house in your neighborhood, right? And this is the before and after. And if you want this, like, message me. And because, Terry next door got his lawn done, he's like, oh, I see the lawn. It looks great.
Oh my gosh.
And
this
then
is so good.
He gets all this inbound from that. Like Chris, I'm talking like a ridiculous amount of inbound because there's this social proof built in.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to start listing off all the first principles of why this works.
Totally.
It's like he has immediate authority because if someone's like, okay, 123 Maple, a real person lives there. I don't think he's lying about that. There's the before and after. It matches what the house, I think it looks like. And it just has all those things.
Imagine like a neighborhood that's one of those tract homes too, right? That's like the circular, if you go to one of those, I mean, if I was trying to like be like, okay, I need to make 50 grand this summer, like in the next 3 months, right? Or whatever. It depends on where you live in the US, right? But you could go and just door knock and be like, hey, can I do your lawn for free? Somebody's going to say yes. And then you just do a before and after post. Be like, I just did, X house's lawn.
Yes.
And like, if you want this,
dude,
just message me. And like, that is a business literally overnight. Like you would, that is it, all you would have to do. So
I've actually talked about this idea on this pod, like the same idea. We're doing a job for free just so you could ethically tell your neighbors that you did their house, but you just like scaled it by integrating Nextdoor, right? Because that whole shtick works. Like anytime some roofer knocks on my house, he's telling me, yeah, we just did the, and he's probably lying. Like, I don't know my neighbors' names, right? If you could do this ethically, even better.
Totally.
I have a headache. That was so good. That's always a good thing.
Hopefully it provides some value to your audience. So I know a lot of times I'm just rambling. So
no, this is amazing. Cody, where can everyone find you? We'll tag your YouTube channel. Where else can we find you?
Both on pretty active on LinkedIn and Twitter, just kind of sharing all my learnings there. Want to use graphs, go to graph.com. You can sign up for free. Basically, you plug in your data and you can just chat with it. Be like, show me revenue by, product category from Shopify. What search terms are performing best on Google Ads, and it just builds out that dashboard for you in real time. You don't have to learn anything, plain English to your data analytics. So,
okay, thank you. Okay, is Cody the best or what? Let me know in the comments if we should have him on again. Thanks for hanging out on the Koerner Office.